Hi everyone, a warm evening to all. So today we will see five more current affairs according to our day 9 plan. Okay, so today the topics will be discussed or here. Okay, so the first topic is about culture of peace session. So culture of peace session, this is the 63rd session. So it was organized by United Nations General Assembly each year, we can say that is since 1997. And United Nations General Assembly will be discussing resolutions which are based on civilizations. That is mainly we can say the set of values and principles which the countries have been following, like religion we can say. So the first secretary at India's permanent mission, Mr. Anish Sharma, criticized on behalf of India that UN is always selectivity in seeking to protect the Abrahamic religions. That is, what are the Abrahamic religions means? They all have the common, we can say, proponent like Abraham. Okay, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism only, and other three religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism are not at all discussed because in 2001 itself, UN has not condemned the activities of the terrorist, okay, by shattering the Bamiyan in Bamiyan Buddhist sculptures and all, and also 25 Sikh worshippers were died in terrorist bombing of Sikh Gurdwara. Okay, so these are all the issues which are not discussed by UN. UN is always failing and so criticized as selectivity in approach. This kind of issue can be very much useful in mains too. So the next one is about the Edison Alliance, that is essential digital infrastructure and services network. Because due to the COVID-19 pandemic, many people were very much oriented towards the digital economy. So work from home facilities or any shopping activities, education, healthcare facilities, everything comes under the feasibility of digital economy. So that's why World Economic Forum has made an open ecosystem where industries, people, and also government, where all these three will get connected, like industries, government, and people will get connected. So its vision is to make every person should affordably participate in the digital economy. So and the mission is to mobilize this global movement and also involves cross sectoral approach, like digital, that is information and technology should be aligned with all the sectors of the economy, and their approach is to build a network of networks like health, education sector, and many more. What are all the allied activities we can do, like all the sectors should come under the digital economy to ease the process, because we have experienced this during the COVID pandemic. So they have three important steps like mobilize and convene, like public private knowledge partnerships would be there, and leverage existing activities means now the what are all the activities going through, like health, education, or any facilities. Okay, so that should have one stop shop where the digitalization of the economy, which will be very much easier. Also move with the common purpose. So we have to achieve the global targets like sustainable development goals also through this digital economy. Okay, providing employment, providing all the social amenities easily. Okay, so it will prioritize three focus areas every year. So for 2021, they have taken health and healthcare, education and financial inclusion as their three major focus areas, which are all related to the sustainable development goals. So like this, every year they will be taking three focus areas and they will be working with the public-private partnership connecting government, industries and people by World Economic Forum. Okay, that's all. So the next one is about salt forest tortoise. So its binomial nomenclature is Indo-Testudo elongata. So it is also known as elongated tortoise, okay, by its physical structure, or we can say phenotype. Okay, it is widely distributed over eastern and northern India and Southeast Asia. Okay, so recently it has been accorded a critically endangered IUCN status because poachers have been poaching it in a large number because they are heavily hunted for food, local use like decorative mask. International wildlife trade is happening frequently because of the human activities. Okay, like we can say recent study by ecologists in Wildlife Institute of India have found that what are all the areas they have designated as protected area network, no? So they have only, that is, these tortoise are seen only in a smaller area. Almost 90% of the potential distribution of the species falls outside the current protected area network as studied by the journal Herpetological Conservation and Biology. Okay, and also as per the Wildlife Institute of India, they have studied that 29% of their 29% of the predicted distribution of species falls under high occurrence fire zone area. Especially in Northeast India, we can say jhum cultivation is famous. So that makes the clearance of the forest. We know that tortoise is a terrestrial animal. Mostly they will live on terrestrial region only. Okay. So due to the jhum cultivation, forest areas will be getting cleared, so they will not be having their own habitat area, and they will be moving towards the human habitat area, and people will easily poach them for food or any local use. Okay. Even Uttarakhand is also coming under the high occurrence of fire zone area. So Uttarakhand is considered as its westernmost distribution limit of the species. So, and also there is a general statement that 23 out of the 29 species of freshwater turtles. Turtles are omnivores and they will be living in water region. Turtles will live in freshwater region also, and the turtles are also confined to marine regions also. So here they are dealing about the freshwater turtles. So 23 out of the 29 species of freshwater turtles and tortoise species in India coming under the threatened category of IUCN Red List. Okay, and also they are facing existential threat due to the anthropogenic activities. That's all. So next, the new species of Indian moraine grass, Ishimum janarthami, has been found. Okay, it is known for its low nutrient, and it can strive towards the harsh climates also. So it is known for their ecological as well as economic importance. It can be used as a fodder. Okay, so this new species of Indian moraine grass was spotted by scientists in Goa in the Western Ghats. We know that Western Ghats is one of the 4 biodiversity hotspots globally. So this species has an ecological importance, because it can survive in harsh conditions also, which is very much needed because we have to cope up with the climate change, and low nutrient availability also, and also it can blossom every monsoon. And this new species of Indian moraine grass has been named after the Professor M.K. Janarthanam, so who is the botany professor in Goa University, because he has contributed more towards Indian grass taxonomy, and he has documented floristic diversity of the Goa state. Okay, and if we see its ecological importance, means it will grow on low nutrient, that is low altitude lateritic plateaus also, which is in the outskirt of the Bhagwan National Park in Goa. So Bhagwan National Park is in Goa, please make note of that. And they have told that globally 85 species were there, which is from the genus Ishimum, but 61 species itself are exclusively found in India. It is a very much greater ecological importance, we can say, here in our country, because it can sustain and cope up with the climate change also, because it can survive in harsh conditions. So economically it can be used as fodder to the cattle. And they have found that in that 61 species, Western Ghats itself has 40 species. So the concentration of the genus Ishimum is more in Western Ghats. Okay, one of the 4 global biodiversity hotspots. So the next one is about Project CORD. The abbreviation for this acronym CORD is Consortium for Affordable and Rapid Diagnosis. So it was launched by Niti Aayog, okay, and the Department of Biotechnology, in order to speed up and scale up our India's capacity to make the coronavirus testing kits. So they have their first goal of rolling out at least 10 million rapid antibody tests for COVID-19 by July, and and also they want to expand the capacity of the RT-PCR test also. So that's why this Project CORD has been initiated or launched by the Niti Aayog and department. Due to the quality issues faced in the Chinese-made antibody testing kits, so the Project CORD has been initiated to roll out their first 10 million rapid antibody test for COVID-19 by July 2020. So that's all for today's class. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Dream Work Achieve channel, and also share this video to all the needed aspirants. Till then, be bold, be strong, keep smiling, be happy, and also be grateful to each and every work you do in the day.